Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. You're listening to episode number 89. This is a show where we like to talk about things like comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, political discourse sometimes, but always Star Trek. I'm your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hello, Midget Radio, how are you?
I'm all right, Tactic Angel. How are you?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Hey, Midget Radio, I have a random question for you.
Oh, okay.
If you were to have immediately taken a shower before this, what drink would you use to cleanse your palate?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I'm stumped.
What do you have to drink?
Right now I have a local brew, a local Oktoberfest brew, actually.
Is it called Local Brew?
Yeah, no, it's called Four Peaks.
Okay, good. I am drinking the Jim Beam Black again.
Wow, really?
Uh-huh.
How does this compare to last time?
It's worse. So
Is
what
it
are we
really?
talking about?
Wow. Okay.
We're talking about the Democratic debates again. Apparently there's just gonna be a fucking billion of these. Was this broadcast live in your area?
Yeah, actually, yeah, on ABC, yeah.
So I went to abc.com and literally it said that I don't live in a part of the country that the Democrats care enough about to allow it to be seen.
Well, do you live in Chicago, Tactic Angel?
Well, why would you broadcast it in Chicago? Everybody who's alive and dead is going to vote for you there anyway.
Well, you know, I mean, they got to know which one to vote for, so I guess
Do you think
that.
it's a deliberate tactic or just a mistake on the part of the Democratic Party to kind of ignore all of America?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in 2020.
Okay. So anyway, we're talking about this stupid debate. The first thing that we probably should address is that probably two people who definitely should be there were not.
Yeah.
They are definitely Tulsi Gabbard and
definitely.
Marianne Williamson, both of whom polled high enough that they should have made it, but for some reason didn't.
Well, what? So Tulsi had the donors. I don't think Marianne had the donors. And then Tulsi was polling well, but not in the right polls, apparently.
So
I guess neither was Marianne.
So I guess the DNC conspired to pick the correct polls to get the least number of candidates up there.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
don't
they were
understand
pretty,
that.
they were pretty, I feel like the DNC was pretty clear about, which were the qualifying ones and which weren't, and Tulsi was like, hey, we should look at these other ones, because I'm doing better on those. And she's probably right. I mean, I don't know how they fucking pick polls.
Did you watch her on the Rubin Report?
No, I watched a couple clips of it.
I thought she did pretty well. I mean, she, for all of her somewhat over the moon politics stuff,
yeah,
she has an authority, and you genuinely
totally.
think that she likes the United States, which is
yeah.
not going to be a theme for the rest of this.
Yeah,
And the Marianne Williamson thing, I think that's just a lie. They just
Really?
straight up lied about that one.
Really.
In any case, these debates are moderated by George Stephanopoulos, a longtime Democratic demagogue with some connections to Russia. Mm-hmm. He leads off a not quite all-star crew that includes David Muir, Lindsey Davis, and George Ramos. How do you feel like these people did overall?
Oh, they were the best. It was worse than last time, but
I feel like they started off strong, but it got worse.
It was
and worse and worse.
Yeah, it was fairly out of control by the end. Yeah.
And literally to the point where you have candidates saying they're like, okay, we got to move on. It's like, no, everybody else went over.
Yeah.
I'm going over too.
I'm pretty sure Biden said exactly that. So
and they were just like, well, you got a good point.
yeah,
You got a good point.
fair enough.
I do think that they do okay, let me put it this way. They ask a lot of challenging questions, but the line between challenging questions and do you still beat your wife questions
Yes.
is very blurry.
That is a good point. Because you're right. I agree that the questions were a little bit more directed, a little bit tougher, I feel like, but there were a number of like, you're a piece of shit. Why don't you explain yourself? Everything you did is bad.
Do you remember when you said this thing 40 years ago? Right. And I'm going to take it out of context.
I wish someone, like, basically it's just, you're just like asking Joe Biden, listen, you were alive in 1975. How do you explain yourself? That's it. Like, great. Thank you.
I want to say that David Muir did that, and he's clearly fake news.
Yeah.
Because I saw him. He was saying we have to be mindful of where we stand. And the guy's clearly lying. He's sitting. He's clearly sitting.
True enough. ABC News exposed. That's going to be the title of this episode. I'm going to put that on YouTube in all caps.
All of our titles are in caps.
That is true. We need bigger caps.
We don't need a thumbnail. It'll just be like flowing off of the thumbnail. ABC News exposed. David Muir is fake news.
Tactic Angel drops bomb on David Muir.
No, I wrecked him. Wrecked him. So let's get into the stuff. There's like a dozen candidates or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't actually count, but there were too many of them still.
True. You round up, it's a dozen. But, yeah.
But not enough at the same time.
Yeah.
So first guy that they introduce is Julian Castro.
Yeah.
I guess he starts out by saying that he wants to be governor of Mexico.
Yeah.
Our problems didn't start with Trump, but they will finish with universal pre-K and healthcare.
Yep.
Then he smiles weirdly.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that you want to add about Julian Castro?
For the night?
For the entire night.
I kind of like that he came out a little hard, you know? I mean, it was unfair, but I do kind of like that he was like, this is a fucking debate and I'm going to be an asshole, you know? was
like when he came at Biden for being like, you're a son of a bitch for working for Obama, who I also worked for.
Yeah, basically. And then Pete's like, hey guys, why can't we get along?
God, that guy looked like he was going to cry the entire time.
Yeah, little boy. I don't know. Pete needs to, I don't know. He's a fucking soldier, dude. What the fuck?
Okay. Well, that's the other thing, because I'm picturing Snake Plissken, and this guy's like, you know,
yeah,
Teddy Ruxpin over there.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. Gee gosh, don't say mean things.
Oh boy.
Okay. Do you want a serious question?
Sure, why not? Let's see if I can answer this.
So, what costs more, the modern day Marshall Plan for South America, which we didn't even get to carpet bomb first?
That's true.
Or a wall?
Why do I feel like it's the former?
Or the latter?
Or the latter.
It's the latter.
Yeah.
The wall costs half as much as the Marshall Plan did in 1940s, or around six. The wall costs less than 1/6
Didn't you
of
ask
what
what
a
costs
modern
less?
day.
Yeah.
Well, I said what would cost less.
Yeah, so the former.
Wait, no. I said what would cost more. No, you were right.
Do you not remember what you just said 2 minutes ago? Tactic Angel, you old piece of shit. You were alive in 1975 too, you old fuck. Like,
I was not, but I was being constructed. I have it right in front of me. I wrote it down so I wouldn't have to remember.
Good thinking.
Which is a quote from probably the greatest movie that's ever been made. That isn't Casablanca.
Dude, Where's My Car? That's the only
No.
other movie I know of that you really love. That's A Knight's Tale.
What's in Berlin? My diary. Marcus has the map,
Ah,
right?
yes.
God, I love
Yes.
that movie.
It is a good movie.
I think I've watched it like 4 times since they added it to Netflix.
Oh, nice. Nice.
For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, you're Philistine and also
Indiana Jones and the
Jones
Kingdom
and
of the
Last
Crystal
Crusade.
Skull.
Fuck you. Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah. So she pulled high enough. And she has the donors.
Which is doubly confounding.
Yeah.
She's essentially why I think this is a conspiracy.
Okay.
Amy starts out her opening statement is essentially, I'm boring, but
Yes.
Trump is interesting.
Yeah.
Since Trump is supposedly bad, then I must be good by
Yeah.
being the opposite of one of those things that he is. And then she drops some 90s movies quote.
Yeah. She she had the
How do you-
most I wrote this and I'm just reading it off the page. I feel like of the opening statements. It was kind of painful to watch. Like it was her first public speaking event. I don't know. It just
It was okay. Of all of the candidates that excelled in the last debate by being the most boring, she is the worst.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Houston,
Just-
we have a problem. I just came up with that just now. Aren't I?
We're in Houston. Do you guys get it? It's a joke.
Amy. And that was about it from her.
They did ask, I think Amy got kind of the first "Do you still beat your wife?" questions, right?
Yeah, she had that. Yeah.
Because it was like, someone on the internet says that you clearly have no interest in equality.
yes.
So that is
Yes.
definitely true.
She
because
sides
it
with
was
the
on
police.
the internet.
Yeah, because she sides with the police all the time.
Are
And-
you sorry about that?
Yep. They're the enemy. Did you? Did you not know?
The police?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
What about Sting? Is he still a good guy?
Sting's all right. Sting's all right, but the police, a bunch of fucking racists.
No, that's sad.
It is. It is. That's why he left, you know. That's why he left.
I didn't look this up, so I'm going to ask you this in case you can answer the question.
Okay, I probably can't.
Could you describe how Amy Klobuchar arrested a person who shot a girl through a kitchen window by going after white collar crime?
Yes. No. I can't. No. I can't.
For the most part, I think my questions here are going to be largely observations about just how batshit these answers are.
A number of them were kind of all over the place, and it made me think of what we talked about last time we talked about one of these debates, which is
I seriously think that the Star Trek Discovery writers are writing all of the responses.
That would not surprise me. Yeah.
It's fucking bad.
That would not surprise. Yeah, because we kept wondering, right? Does Kamala Harris even have a fucking debate team? Because it seems like she doesn't, and now I'm wondering that about almost all of these fucking candidates. They just seem grossly
this was a
unprepared
mess.
for questions that they should know are coming. Like,
well, I mean, even if they're not, like, okay, if someone were to ask Amy Klobuchar about a bill that she supposedly wrote, and she's written hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So you would think that she would know a little bit something about it.
yeah, you would hope so.
Now, one thing that she did say is she wrote a bill that would prohibit a person who's been convicted of domestic abuse from buying an AK-47.
That's right.
Midget Radio, do you think that a person today who's been convicted of domestic abuse can buy an AK-47?
If maybe if they go to like a gun show, I don't know.
The answer is no. And there are two definite reasons why you can't. One is it's a select fire weapon, so you need a class 3 permit, and you're not going to get it. And the other is you can't buy any gun if you've been convicted of domestic abuse.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
Which made me really curious about what is actually in that bill, because clearly she doesn't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same thing. It wouldn't be surprising, right? Like, couldn't you totally see this Congress passing the same law twice?
And it's sitting right now on Mitch McConnell's desk. It's probably sitting on his desk because he thought his grandchildren made it, because it's written in crayon.
Or it's already got a check mark on it. Done. Years ago. Not this one out. That'd be a great way to run for president. Just run on laws that have already passed. Like,
I think murder should be illegal.
And Mitch McConnell won't hear that bill. That son of a bitch. He is pro-murder.
That's what I'm getting out of the conversation. Do you have anything you want to add about Amy?
No.
I can't imagine that you do, because she's like, what if a vanilla wafer had no flavor at all?
Fair enough.
Next guy's Beto O'Rourke.
Beto, yeah.
So Beto says that the reason why he is running is because Trump has unleashed an unprecedented wave of violence and racism.
Yeah.
Do you think that America is more racist, or specifically openly racist, than it has ever been before?
Yeah, this is as bad as it's ever been, Tactic Angel. Far worse.
Definitely.
I would say. Far worse.
Definitely the worst.
That's why we got to pay these black people money. That's why we got to give them these reparations, man. Sorry about slavery. Here's $10. Go fuck yourself.
As we talk about Beto, I want to make sure that we understand that he's going to try to raise our political discourse in this debate, and he is not going to attack anyone.
No. I mean, except for Trump, I guess, but...
I guess he's not a person?
No, not really. I mean, you know. He is a different color than us, but...
While making a crazy person face, Beto states that Texas government is currently the largest provider of healthcare in the state.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if this was a fairly common occurrence I think... in part, the size of government? For instance, the Cook County jail system sucks millions of dollars out of the medical system in Illinois.
Yeah.
Treating people with medical illness each year.
Yeah. I think,
and is the largest healthcare provider in the area.
Yeah, his point was the prison. Yeah, which is bad. The prison system is the largest provider of, healthcare. Which is great. I mean, if you want to get free health insurance, that's certainly an avenue.
Okay.
I noticed what you had noticed. I don't remember what you mentioned maybe the last time. Beto's weird, like, bowing effect when he's talking to people.
Up and down.
Yeah, and he does that even in the even on the stage.
He also, he has, almost one hand gesture, like he's conducting, like, a symphony that's in two, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah,
it's a very inconsistent time signature.
It's a polyrhythmic Tactic Angel.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, a staple of the kind of music he used to play. So,
Yeah?
Yeah.
When he was in the furry band?
I did like that he came out really fucking hard on assault weapons and stuff. Just because it's like, hey, way to assert yourself, buddy. There's a position.
I mean, okay, I appreciate the honesty. However, I think taking away any weapon that was designed to kill a person is kind of the worst.
Yeah. Coming from my slingshot. God damn it.
Well, I mean, like, when he said that, it's like, we should take away anything that was designed to kill people as a weapon of war. You're like, that includes almost all pistols that are sold as well.
Yeah.
And literally almost all revolvers.
Yeah.
and
Knives.
knives, axes, pretty much anything useful.
Yeah.
Baseball will no longer be played with bats.
Can you believe that? I think Gale has an axe in his house.
I have an axe in my house,
right?
too.
Can you imagine the government trying to come for that?
Come and take it.
Right?
Honestly, I probably need something else. The axe is not going to work.
Fuck that tactic, Angel. You are a highly skilled axe warrior.
False. When you look at Beta talking what I will call Espagnol, do you ever wonder how much more entertaining it would be for Trump to be speaking MAGA Espagnol?
Oh my god, that would be the best thing fucking ever. It would be, yeah. That would be amazing.
He did break into something, and there was definitely a necesitamos.
Oh, yeah. Necesitamos.
Donde a la biblioteca?
Oh, my God. And after Biden complimented him on El Paso or whatever, everybody just fell to their knees and sucked his dick for the rest of that night. It was ridiculous.
I thought it was kind of weird because the last time, because he was kind of a joke, everybody made fun of him the entire time.
Yeah.
He's like some rich, entitled white kid who's literally never done anything in his life.
Then you get a reach around from Biden, and now all of a sudden, the fucking star of the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's taking a turn.
Ridiculous.
There was a weird bit of phraseology, and I went back and rewatched it. Like the same statement. He basically said that that Black Americans can never participate in America, and that is his cause.
Oh.
And you're like, I understand what you're trying to say, but you're like 2 or 3 words off.
Can you imagine when someone hits him in the face with that 40 years later? Like,
you were alive in 2019. What do you have to say for yourself?
That's going to be a fun day.
I will laugh my ass off in the retirement home.
Hell yes.
And we will go back on Wednesday Night Gentlemen episode number 438 and be like, we fucking called it.
Called it.
All right, so let's get off of this crazy clown guy and just go on to a guy who's straight up crazy.
Okay.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I feel like there's a couple of contenders there.
Cory Booker.
That's all right. I was thinking Cory or Bernie, but all right.
So Cory Booker's opening remarks is so disjointed and inconsequential that I struggle to even make a joke about them. Yeah. Can you?
No, I can't. I don't even remember what he said because it was just, I think it was like, hey guys, America, love me, Cory Booker, me, awesome.
Trump bad.
Yeah. I know for what Cory Booker said that there is no red bag of courage, and he is right about that. There is, in fact, no red bag of courage.
I think he was trying to say badge.
I think so too, but fuck him.
So like that actually came at a very weird place because he said specifically it's not important who is or isn't racist. However,
yeah,
Donald Trump is racist.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, isn't that unimportant?
Right.
Per the first half of your sentence?
You know, he's trying to earn that non-existent fucking...
This is the Star Trek Discovery writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, what are you talking about?
Yeah. You want to be above the fray, but you want to score those points too. Score them fucking... Yeah.
He did have several very interesting takes, things that I don't necessarily understand, so maybe you can help clear this up for me being a more
no doubt
left-leaning person
among
us. He briefly touched on this, but how has slavery impacted healthcare?
Oh, Jesus. Well,
it makes
I feel like
a lot
any
of sense
answer
if
I
you're
give
not
is
really
going to be
listening.
horrendously I feel like whatever answer I want to give is going to be horrendously offensive. So
we'll move on.
Yeah.
Can you describe how our climate policy is racist?
Oh, yeah. I was confused on this, too. Is it because, like, God damn it, there's nothing you can say about this that doesn't seem like... I was like, are they trying to say that, like, black neighborhoods, there's more trash there? Or, like, because white people dump it there? I didn't understand what that fucking meant at all. Like...
I was really hoping that he would go into it, because when I heard that, I was like, what?
Yeah, he was like, because he specifically said, like, this is a thing that we don't talk about enough, and it's the environmental racism or whatever. And I was like, well, yeah, we don't talk about that. I didn't know it was a thing. I don't know how the environment's racist. But
I understand that I'm supposed to be feeling guilty about a lot of things that aren't my fault. But this one's new to me, and you're going to have to explain it.
Yeah. I don't know. Are minorities like affected by global warming in a disproportionate manner?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
God, I hope that there's somebody listening to this right now who is really pissed off at how completely uninformed we are on this. And if so, listener, please blast us on YouTube and in the comments. And all.
Also, this is an honest question, so you could also maybe phrase it as though you wanted to convince us of something.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that
that's not kind of like the political way of doing things today,
No.
but it is kind of the way that you do things if you want people to agree with you.
Maybe, and you know, maybe we'll give you like the first couple of sentences. You know, you can call us like racists and fascists and all that, and that's fine. But then, you know, if you get to a point, I mean, at least
those things don't even mean anything anymore.
That is true. Plus, I'm a socialist, so it's just wrong.
So Cory Booker is interested in releasing 17,000 criminals on his first day in office.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that people only work on the first day? And some of them stretch it out to the first 100 days, but nobody has a plan for what happens after the first 3 months of their presidency.
That is true. Day 1 and day 2 are covered.
Sometimes the next couple of months, but definitely don't expect anything after that.
After that, just kind of making it up as you go. So,
what would having a license to own a gun do that a background check doesn't already do?
I don't know. Is there a difference between those two things? Between like a background check and once you do the background check, then you get the license, then that's how you know a background check was done? I don't have any idea how this is supposed to work.
So like, curiously, this is what happens in Illinois.
Okay.
If I wanted to own a firearm for the first time, I would apply for a FOID card.
Right.
And by law, the state must accept or deny my application within 30 days.
Okay.
So mine took around 50.
Okay.
They accepted.
Fantastic.
And then I would be allowed to go buy a gun.
Okay.
At which point, there would be another background check. Like 3 days
really?
later.
Oh, that's...
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I guess what's the point of the initial background check in this case? Because it doesn't get me over the background check.
Yeah, so I guess is it supposed to be like an extra added layer of security? Like, first enter your password, and then we're going to text a code to you to make sure that you're okay to log into this fucking account. Like, is it like that?
Well, I mean, like, the only advantage that I can find is, like, the guy who shot up the church down in Texas, he shouldn't have owned a gun. And essentially the reason why he got one is because the government fucked up.
Okay.
So what they're trying to do is, like, they're trying to give themselves extra chances to not fuck up.
Yeah.
So, like, first, here's the other thing. FOID card lasts 20 years. So...
Oh, wow. That's quite a while.
I might not have been crazy 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But you better be sure as shit I'm going to be crazy by the time I'm 40.
Good God. After all that corn whiskey.
So, no, like... So that you do a background check at some point, and they give you the card, and then if you go buy a gun, do another background check.
Yeah.
It doesn't get you anywhere except for maybe in that initial thing we'll catch them.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have helped down in Texas because the problem was that the guy who shot up the church was guilty, strangely, of domestic abuse, and the government never reported it to himself.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
And he was stopped by a citizen with an AR-15.
That's a good thing.
Neither here nor there.
No, but who knows, Tactic Angel?
Honestly, that whole shooting is like the most interesting narrative I've ever seen, because literally a guy heard someone shooting up the church, grabbed his gun, and went out to confront him, ran into the street, got in a firefight with him, and then the guy got wounded, got in a car, and started speeding away. This guy with the gun runs over to some other random person and said, "That man just shot up the church. Let's go."
Yeah, don't they all jump in a truck or something and chase after him? Yeah.
And you're just like, how fucking Texas is this?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We gotta get him.
Come on, Skeeter. Get in the truck.
In any case.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this, but he was asked a very strange question.
Corey? Okay.
Yeah. His answer was, "You shouldn't be a vegan, but veterans." So
oh
please
my
respond.
God, what the fuck? Yeah. I couldn't tell what that I don't. That was another one of those, like, what is this fucking question? Environmentalism. So everybody has to eat plants. All right.
But then he says you don't have to, but
no,
veterans.
you don't have to, but because of veterans, well, they're awesome. Thank you. That's my time.
Incidentally, do you know what the population of the United States was in 1850?
I don't.
It's 31 million.
Oh.
Do you know what the slave population was in 1850?
I don't.
3.2 million.
Okay.
Is there any specific reason why those numbers should be important 170 years later?
I don't know. Maybe if we're going to do the reparations thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't quite... One thing that I don't want to brush over, because this was a serious... Well, I'm not sure how serious. This was something that strayed close to an actual policy.
Okay.
And there was almost none of that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this was...
So he wants to create a department of white supremacy and
yes! Hate. Yes, he does! Yeah.
What?
I'm surprised it wasn't a czar, but he wants a whole department, I guess, and not just one dude.
What is this gonna accomplish that the Department of Justice isn't already charged with?
I don't know. I just, like, I don't know. Picture, like, I guess maybe a group of people in, like, rainbow colored Ku Klux Klan outfits driving around and hunting down the Ku Klux Klan.
Interesting.
We're gonna get rid of you fuckers.
If they just blast Benny Hill as they do that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think that I can vote for a guy who says demonstratably as opposed to demonstrably.
Yeah.
What the fuck
he
was that?
He did say that. He did say that, and he said like dag nabbit like 3 or 4 times.
Well, when he said demonstratably, I was like, I mean, I remember when he said inacceptablos.
Yeah.
And I always kind of assumed that Cory Booker can speak English.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just been faking it the whole time.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't understand Tactic Angel. What the fuck does Rosario Dawson see in him?
I don't know. The rumor is that Cory Booker is gay. But I don't know why Rosario Dawson would be putting up with that.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because that's not like...
My God,
I mean, that's like...
better.
That's... Yeah, right? Top shelf.
Good Lord.
Anywho, do we have anything else to say about this clown?
Nope.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
So I thought his opening remarks were a little bit more ask what your country can do for you and not what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
But let's not dress this up. I'm going to give 10 people $12,000 to enter a sweepstakes on my webpage.
I like him a lot. I feel like if your whole thing is, you know what, man, I just really want somebody who's different. Like, this is your dude, right? This is your fucking dude. Andrew fucking Yang. I love it. I'm going to buy 10 people's votes. I'm going to announce it on TV.
I'll tell you what, I'll sign up for it and I still won't vote for him. I'm pretty sure most of the people who sign up won't get the opportunity to vote for him. He did
hilarious.
say he did have one very differentiating opinion, which I thought was kind of interesting and that the moderators actually did spell out in kind of like a condemning way, but I didn't think it was that bad. You can tell me what you think.
Okay.
So everybody on stage is against the freedom of choice except for Andrew Yang when it comes to education.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of question is this?
Yeah.
You're like, charter schools, good, bad, whatever. And you're like, I mean, go to school where you want to. Yeah. Clearly, public education is very hit or very miss, depending on where you live. And so what? You're gonna like force people into a failing public school system?
Yeah,
I mean that's a great idea.
Yeah, and that was more or less his answer because I think he said like, it's not. He's like, charter school or not, I'm just for good schools. I'm like, all right, yeah. I mean, if that's a charter school, then that's a fucking charter school. Like,
well, my guess is that charter schools are less popular where the public school is very good.
Yeah.
And my guess is the charter schools are more wanted where the public school kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So
seems pretty fair.
So I mean, at least it brings a competitive nature into the landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can say that every public school is better than every charter school. And I don't think that you can say that every charter school is better than every public school.
Yeah.
But there are definitely places where charter schools are better than public schools.
Yeah.
And like, we make a big deal about the freedom to choose other things in our society.
Yeah.
That affects a very slim portion of our populace compared to the number of people who have to go to school.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't understand why this is like some sort of, he's like a pariah up there because he believes that people should have the right to choose. That's fucking bullshit.
I guess so. Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. But I like that. I mean, I do kind of enjoy that about Yang. He's almost the most fucking libertarian person.
Well,
I feel like I've seen in a while.
And he's kind of, well, I mean, he's more of an innovator. Everyone else is up there just like trying to pre-can the same talking points. And I mean, we talked about it last time. Who can give the most stuff away the most free?
Yeah, that is what it is. And his position on healthcare is reflective of that general point of view as well. That he's more about like his perspective is always like getting it off the backs of employers, and that will enable people to move around more. And he's right about that. And it's an interesting perspective that you don't hear from like any other fucking candidate.
Yeah. It's just that like it's too bad that things happen to people, so we should take care of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Forever and yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna
do? To get off of the serious part of this, we'll talk about something else. Democracy dollars.
Yeah.
Tell me about democracy dollars, Midget Radio.
I mean, I kind of like it. It's basically like, I mean, it sounds so fucking ridiculous. But then again, so does the freedom dividend. But like,
freedom dividend and democracy dollars.
You know, the idea behind it, it's like, okay, so you have, it's basically publicly funded elections where the people get to choose who the money goes to, which is kind of an interesting idea.
But do you think that it's going to get big interest out of... big money interest out of it? It's just going to make a bigger slush fund.
Yeah, and I mean, and even Yang said, like, I feel like he practically undercut his own points. He's like, there's big, like, money's going to find a way. Like in Jurassic Park, you know? Like Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Nature finds a way, whatever.
Yeah, life.
Except money, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter, but...
Have you ever tried to read that book?
Yeah.
The movie is definitely better.
The movie is definitely better. I like Michael Crichton too, but yeah, the movie is definitely better.
Well, yeah, when you go on like a 40-page aside about like particle physics, you're just like, fuck this.
Yeah. But all those kids are fucking awful in that movie. They're just awful.
You know who's also a child? Pete Booty Guy.
Ah, Pete. Guys, can't we all just get along?
So Mayor Pete starts out by whining about how we were all together on September 12th.
Yeah.
What do you think changed?
I don't know.
Did he tell us?
No.
He did not.
He did not. Muslims, I don't know.
So Pete has asked another one of these relatively confrontational, but I thought relatively fair questions, because it wasn't completely, do you still beat your wife?
Yeah.
So Pete is kind of guilty of using a lot of inflammatory rhetoric and calling people who might consider voting for Donald Trump racist. And he's asked whether or not that will deepen the divide in the United States, and he completely takes a pass on it.
Well, doesn't he say, like, the only people who buy into Trump's rhetoric are people who, like, don't know immigrants, really?
Yeah, but later they ask him another question, and he says straight up, if you consider voting for Trump, then you are a racist.
Well, he doesn't say that. He just says you are supporting that kind of racist rhetoric that Trump uses.
I cannot abide a person who says that thinking is racist.
Okay.
I mean, like, right? We all have to consider, like, if it came down to Pete or Trump, you'd have to consider, what do I want to do? And for some people, that's an easy question, because for some people, it's like MAGA all the way. And for some other people, they hear the word Trump, they start frothing at the mouth.
Sure.
It's so evil.
Yeah.
And then, like, there are those of us in the middle who apparently this guy just has no time for, who are going to think about this as like, oh, Badger's pissed.
Yeah, he's very loud. I don't know why. Probably about nothing, as usual.
Let's get right back into it.
Okay.
Midget Radio. Why is doing business with 25% minority-owned businesses the correct percentage?
I don't know. I don't remember this statistic.
He wants the government to contract with specifically 25% of minority-owned businesses.
Oh, okay. So like a quarter of all the business we do business with
has to be
owned by some
with
sort
a minority-owned
right.
business.
Okay, that's great.
Why is that the right percentage?
I don't know. Maybe that's like, is that like representative of how many minority-owned businesses there are in the United States? I looked it up.
There's about 31 million businesses in the United States, and there are about 11 million that are owned by minorities.
Okay.
Why is he underrepresented?
Yeah, that seems like what, a third? Like
minorities by 8%.
Yeah.
I think Pete's got a real problem here.
Well, he probably, probably is
I mean,
racist.
especially after all of the things that have been happening in South Bend.
True. He's a secret Trump voter.
Can you describe emotional learning for me?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, neither do I. So Pete also criticizes Trump for not doing enough for the people of Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah. God damn.
What are we supposed to do? Tell me that this isn't a land war with China.
No shit, man. No shit. We need to arm the fucking Hong Kong rebels now.
Really? Like, literally, I feel like the president of the United States is doing his level best here.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anything to do with this.
No, we don't. Best of luck to those people in Hong Kong. But
he said the right thing. We are with you in spirit, but good luck, guys.
There you go. There you go. You got our blessing. But past that,
you got anything else for Mayor Pete?
No, I don't.
Kamala Harris.
Oh, God.
Do you think she has a cold?
I don't know. I found her particularly annoying this night, though. Particularly annoying. I think it was just like...
She started out confrontational.
Yeah, and it was not good.
No.
It was not good. Like, I mean, if you want to burn Trump. Like, that's great, but make it a solid burn, man. Like, gonna come out blazing.
Now, one thing I did enjoy about this debate is the number of times, and this happens a lot with Julian, and it happens a little bit with Kamala, is they'll say something and they'll be like, there's this little smirk on their face, and they leave like a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's just dead air.
Like, there's literally an applause break built into their fucking notes. Like...
And it's like, shit, that didn't land.
Oops. Fuck.
I guess I'm not going to be president.
Should not be doing these things live. But yeah, I did not like her at all tonight. The Trump thing in the beginning was just annoying and weak. And then the protracted, like, where she just started giggling at Joe Biden, like, uncontrollably. And she's like, hey, Joe, ha 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 ha. Why don't we talk about, like, instead of what we can do, let's just be like, yes, we can. Ha ha ha, that's funny. Remember from Obama?
Well, yeah, and that was in response to a question, a relatively good question, about how blatantly unconstitutional outlawing guns by dictate is.
Yeah, he was the only person who was like, hey, wait a minute.
I don't think that the president can just come in and say guns are illegal.
Yeah, and the response to that was, well, fuck Congress. Like, well, wait a minute.
Kamala, the process is important.
I said Constitution. I did not say Congress. God damn it.
So that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
God. He handled it about as well as you can possibly ask.
Yeah.
She did put forward an interesting supposition.
Okay.
Why do you think Republicans hate their children?
Oh, yeah. If she had actually really leaned into that, I kind of would have liked her a little bit more for it. It's a bold position. Like,
she did basically imply it.
She did definitely imply it. She definitely did imply it.
They look into their children's faces and they see themselves in the mirror and fuck them.
Fuck them. They like to poison their kids.
What do you think the Attorney General of California did to make the sky blue?
I don't know. I know she was there for it, though. She puts food on the tables of everybody in California, so no doubt she clears up the sky, too. Like,
is de-incarcerate a word?
I was wondering that.
I'll save you the trouble. It's not.
It's like, wait, would it then be decarcerate? Disincarcerate? What about just free?
I believe that the opposite of incarcerate is to let go.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is, so she says that everybody on stage is well-intentioned and wants everyone to have medical health care.
Yeah.
Do you suppose that that's true for anyone who is anywhere else.
That probably is. That probably is the case. Generally speaking, we would like for people to have health insurance.
So do you think that Republicans also think that?
I don't think so, Tactic Angel. They want to take it away from everybody.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Republicans don't think that.
No, Republicans hate healthcare.
And people.
Yeah, they just want like the rich people and corporations to be able to go to the doctor's office. That's it.
Specifically corporations. My Geico has a head cold.
Yeah. Geico is welcome, but no Mexicans. That's
Curiously enough, the government can deny you for pre-existing conditions, even if the private sector can't, which I thought she kind of skirted over quite a bit.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, what do you mean, like on Medicare?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
If you ever want to look into that, read, of all things, the California civil statutes.
Interesting.
That's part of my job. I have a very interesting job. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Liz Warren.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that she was born and raised in Oklahoma, or do you think she's lying about that too?
I don't know. I have to consult Ancestry DNA on that one, but I don't know.
Do you think that people refused to lend to servicemen, or that the child care was profoundly more expensive today than it was back when she was a school teacher?
Oh, yeah. There's that. Yeah.
Because she kind of admits that the same thing happened back then. That
Yeah.
typically happens now, which is that your family helps.
Yeah,
you.
I had to have my aunt move in with me, and like, yeah. That I felt like I did kind of feel like that sort of undercut her point a little bit, but then you know,
Right?
I don't know. But then she was like, yeah, 'cause she's like, I worked part time as a waitress or whatever to put myself through college,
But
and then I tried to be a teacher and I was bad at it, I guess, and then I had to go to law school.
I thought it was weird because, of course, like, it's important if you're Liz Warren to convince people that they basically have no agency.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going for. You're going for people who are failures.
Yeah. But because
So-
of, because of everything else.
You tell them that, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
The government should have been taking care of you the whole time.
Yeah.
And then she tells you the story, and it's like, well, I had other people step up because, like, communities and
Yeah.
personal responsibility.
Yeah.
You're like, this does not fit with the narrative.
No.
So I think the first question that they asked her was, will you be honest and admit that you're going to raise taxes?
Biden was trying to get that. Yeah. For a while.
How effectively do you think that she said no when she definitely meant yes?
Let me tell you, I completely understand how she's paying for her fucking healthcare plan. I know what it costs. Very
We're going to
forthcoming about
charge-
all of that information.
We're going to charge every billionaire 2 pennies.
Mm,
You're like, I don't think there's enough, Liz.
right? How many billionaires are there?
Like 20.
We get one
We got
solid
enough for
roll
half
out
a cup
this.
of coffee. I she does say like a weird thing in there, because she implies that people who are successful don't work hard.
Does she? I don't remember.
She says the costs are going to go down for hardworking families. And you're like, well, I don't know. I know some hardworking people. who are
Oh
rich.
yeah. Well,
And you're
that's
like-
that's pretty typical. No, I mean all the rich people are not hard workers. All the poor people are though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works now. That's the
I
dichotomy.
I did not realize that was a thing.
Yeah, that's the dichotomy for.
My mistake, Midget
Yep.
Radio.
Tactic Angel, where you been, buddy? I mean,
I don't know. I see these people. They're highly successful. They've been working 80 hours a week.
that shit
I
was just
think,
handed to them.
what a fucking lazy ass.
Because their daddies handed them those 80-hour-a-week jobs.
So if you If you decriminalize all nonviolent crimes, then what is the penalty for not registering your mandatory gun registration?
I get money, maybe. I guess everything's just reduced to a fine. So, yeah, smoke some weed, get a fine. You don't register your assault rifle, whatever. There's a fine. You shoot up a school, buddy. Now you're going to jail. Like,
No death penalty, though. That's bad.
no.
So, do you think that rolling back the filibuster has been historically a good idea
Oh, boy.
and has served Democrats well?
Absolutely.
Or do you think that
What could go wrong?
rolling back the filibuster is going to make everything more partisan?
Yeah. I was fine with it for the fucking nominations, but like, I think that's plenty. Like, that's plenty. Whatever though.
I would not roll it back further than it was. As you recall, I was against the idea of rolling it back for even nominations.
Yeah, I know.
Because I said, if you do this for every judge in the United States except for Supreme Court justices, I know what the next thing is. And you're like, it's a slippery slope. You're like, well, I guess we'll fucking see.
It is a slippery slope, Tactic Angel. I'm telling you,
But
the
I was
inverse
right.
gravity slope. You just
Inverse
don't
gravity
believe
slope.
in it hard enough, and that's why it doesn't come true.
Okay. Serious question. How realistic is making 99.6% of all currently existing vehicles illegal in the next 10 years?
Oh yeah, because what are they supposed to do? Are they going to run on batteries or what?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's strangely worse for the environment. All I know is that we needed to get carbon emissions out of vehicles. And
Yeah,
that they were going to be illegal by 2030.
that's good luck. Good luck with that. Whatever. It's not cars, it's those fucking cows. I thought that was pretty well established.
As our resident vegan pointed out, you shouldn't be a vegan,
No,
but veterans.
but veterans. So, dag nabbit.
Man, I'm just burning through this list.
Good.
I'm doing a good job here.
You are.
Joe Biden.
All right. Uncle Joe.
Was there anything that Joe didn't promise in his opening statement? He hit on pre-K through 12 and beyond.
Yeah. All the
I
school
assume that
forever.
means college.
I guess. I don't know. I guess.
I get the strong sense that people think, okay, what happens is that man meets woman, man puts penis inside woman,
Yeah.
baby exists, and then the state is supposed to take over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think this is how life is supposed to work. We need free pre-K.
Yeah.
We need parental leave.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Like, is that to catch like the 6 or 9 months after the child is born before it becomes a ward of the state?
I guess so. Yeah.
I just don't get this
I don't
idea.
know. I don't know
I mean,
either.
If you want to bring a kid into the world, teach it. For God's sake.
Yeah. Engage with it.
Right? They actually even talked about this. Like, by the time the people who don't care about their kids, like the kid reaches first grade, he will have heard 41 million less words or something like that
Oh yeah.
than somebody who cares about their kids. You're like, well,
That's why Biden was like, you need to stick them in front of the radio.
I didn't understand that either. He actually said that, like, I thought he was off of his meds. at that
Yeah,
point.
I thought so too.
Because it's like, you stick him in front of the radio. The television, got the record player.
The computer. Wait,
It's
there's
going.
a computer. MP3s. I don't know. This world is new and scary. Poor Biden. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Do you feel like they were kind of shaping this debate quite a bit?
I mean, I guess so.
Because there were lots of people who didn't really get their time.
Like they asked, that is true. It was
one of the the first question they asked to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And it was basically, Liz Warren wants to spend $65 gajillion.
Yeah.
Do you think that's too much?
Yeah.
Could you please attack her on this?
Yeah. Or Bernie. Either one, really. But
Liz, you've been invoked.
Yeah.
Say things.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a Native American.
If anybody deserves reparations, Tactic Angel.
Do you think it's weird that Liz Warren is complaining about multinational organizations when she's received literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from Google, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft?
But those are like the good ones or whatever.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has she yelled at Amazon? I feel like everybody else has yelled at Amazon.
No, she definitely has yelled at. Okay. I think she yelled at Google.
Oh, she did? Okay.
A little bit of solidarity with Tulsi Gabbard. Of course, Google is getting sued because they suppressed her ads for a period of time after the last debate.
I don't entirely understand that suit, but...
Well, they froze her account after the last debate because she was trending.
But that's obviously her position. But Google's saying there was no like intention behind that, and it was frozen for like a millisecond, right? Like it was.
I think it was 3 days.
Oh, it was it was 3 days. So they froze her. So that's what I was questioning, because they have an account, I guess, that Google can freeze. What sort of account is that? Is it a website?
An advertising account. Right?
Okay, so it's an advertising account. So she wasn't able to. So she was the most.
So they were accepting ads.
Yeah.
They were accepting ads up until the point where she was trending, and then they turned her ads off.
Okay.
And then after she stopped trending, they turned them back on, without explanation. Is essentially the crux of the issue.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. If she's the most searched for person on Google, and advertisements from Google aren't, it just seems weird. That just seems weird to me. Like, she's already the most searched for person. So, what are the ads doing?
I don't.
That's what
I don't want to get into it that much because, of course, they excluded essentially that brave, proud minority woman from this debate stage.
That is true. Like if Google owns YouTube, right? So that would be like if people are watching YouTube videos or whatever, and now all of a sudden like nobody's seeing a Tulsi Gabbard advertisement, that would, then I'm like, all right, well that's not cool.
I suspect that's why no one is going to watch this podcast.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand it. But
I feel like, okay, we're going to get back on track.
All right.
I feel like Joe Biden was asked the most unfair question of the night.
Yeah.
So apparently Joe Biden said that he was not responsible for slavery around 40 years ago.
Yes, he did say that, and he was wrong about that.
And I mean, just in the context of listening to the question more than once, you have to realize that this has been taken severely out of context.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to feel really sorry for bumbling Uncle Joe here.
Oh, yeah. I know.
But What in the world has happened to our nation that Joe Biden is supposed to feel responsible for slavery?
Yeah. Well, he was alive in the 70s.
A mere 110 years after the abolishment of slavery. And this is actually where I wanted him to be like, you son of a bitch.
I know. Like, that would be that would be fucking amazing.
But instead, this is where he starts going off about record players.
Yep.
We gotta make people like their children, put them in front of the radio and the record players. You're like, record players? You were better off with the radio,
right? I mean, maybe the parents are hipsters, so you got that. Like, they've probably got an old gramophone somewhere.
Yeah, I can't imagine the hipsters like their kids.
That's probably true. They had them ironically, so.
That's where the hate mail's coming. He does get a couple other doozies.
Yeah.
What do you think of George's question about Obama, Clinton, and Biden being wrong on immigration, and would you like to apologize?
Yeah. You deported a bunch of people, and that was wrong.
What
Your
is
comment,
it with
please.
Okay. You know that I'm not like crazy one side or the other. What is it with I don't understand the idea of we cannot have borders.
We're not like literally. It's interesting to me because the way that question was asked, it is not only are borders bad, but deportation is both immoral and should be illegal.
And I don't understand when we go to these people who are like, well, when we're looking down at God. You remember that SNL skit back in the 90s where everybody like way overpronounced all of the Spanish names of countries and places?
Yeah.
Julian Castro does this. He's like,
yes, he does. Honduras.
We have these people coming from Guatemala and Argentina.
Honduras. Yeah.
And you're just and you're like, we have thousands of these people who are like coming here and like terrible things are happening to them on the border. And you're like, terrible things are happening to them on the way.
Yeah. It's
like,
a pretty bad trip the whole way through.
Like low end, 60% of the women are being raped.
Yeah.
Thousands of people die.
Yeah.
And then we count the people who die on our border each year, and it's, just a couple of thousand. So, like, honestly, that's the least
can't make it
the least terrible part of it. Because you've already killed so many on the way here or exploited them or, all these other terrible things that can happen to humans.
Yeah.
But like that we should continue to encourage that. and that like we have no right as a nation to say you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like, how are the Democrats going to run back to the center with this?
I don't know. I can't like the angle is that like once
the wall
they get
is bad.
Well,
so
no, the angle.
No rules are good.
You would think the reasonable angle would be like, well, once they get here, we probably should try to make sure that they don't die. That would be.
I don't think anybody's position is opposite of that.
Well, no, but I don't think anybody's position is also like, hey, their lives are actually really important. I mean, it's hard to look at the way the border is right now and be like, yeah, we really care about the fucking conditions that these people are in. That's really top priority. So I feel like you just take it from we can probably do better with the border, but this fucking like anybody can walk in, and I guess if we deport them, it's bad. It's like but racist. Like, it's insane.
To appeal to like normal people. Like,
yeah.
I don't think open borders and we're going to a mandatory buyback, which is fucking confiscation by any other.
Whatever,
meaning.
you're getting paid. Shut up. Here's $5. Go fuck yourself.
I don't think that a lot of reasonable people are going to look at that and be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to get behind that. And like beating Donald Trump shouldn't be difficult, but like you're digging yourself a hole by being as extreme as possible.
Yeah, they're running as far to the left on this as they possibly can. And yeah, I think for any normal person, what does a normal person want? Well, I want the people who are like running for their lives to be okay. I want the bad people and the drug dealers and the fucking cartels to not be here. So you're like, that's probably kind of the road that you kind of want to aim for, I would think.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's but this like this just massive overcorrection. Everybody's welcome and everybody has to come here is I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe it's going to win some votes in 2020, but I'm not sure how.
So like this is much more your party than mine. Now I've certainly voted for Democrats on pretty much every level except for like rare things that have never been opposed in my district.
Yeah.
Which exist. But like you're not giving me a choice. Like these candidates are not giving me a choice.
Yeah.
And that is concerning to me because it's like
I don't know, man.
I don't know what confiscating every weapon that has ever been designed to kill someone is.
I don't know. Like it's hard for me to respond to that because I feel like that's like it's almost like for anybody who voted for Trump, it's like, well, did you take everything that Trump said seriously? And I think most people are like, no. So that's how I view this as well.
What part of this am I supposed to take seriously?
I don't know. I never voted for Trump, so I don't know how you make these like.
No. I'm talking about when I'm listening to the Democrats and it's free everything.
Yeah,
we're gonna take away your guns, and
so you just
the border doesn't matter anymore.
You just evaluate it the same way that you would try to evaluate Trump, right? Where you're like, well, that's a huge and ridiculous idea, and it's probably never going to get through the Congress. So there you go.
I mean, there are some things in here that I feel like are probably, well, I mean, other than Kamala Harris being basically queen of America as she seems to think that's what she's running for.
Yeah. She puts food on my table.
But like, you know, she's talking about like, we're going to give money to black colleges. And you're like, really?
Yeah, great.
Just black colleges?
Yep.
Why? Because education. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about why?
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, obviously that's not going to work because it's a racist policy.
Yeah.
So like you can look at that and you can say it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know what to take away from we're going to take your guns away.
I don't think that's ever going to get through. I don't think that's ever going to get through. They can't even get the universal background checks through. There's no fucking way they're ever going to pass a federal buyback, a federal mandatory buy. I don't see that happening at all.
How are we going to deal with the border? No, it's a more serious question because, of course, the president of the United States has a fairly significant amount of leeway in terms of how I mean, whether or not it's reprogramming money or giving people legal residency for a period of time, both of which seem like significant overreaches, in my opinion. Obviously, the president has God only knows nearly unlimited authority on how to enforce the border.
Yeah.
And if you're the president of the United States and deporting people is immoral, then what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, doesn't directly affect me because I'm in a fairly educated professional capacity. But I mean, it certainly affects people who are a little bit more dispossessed or are of the blue collar persuasion.
Yeah.
And like, that matters to me because they're still Americans. They should be treated fairly.
Sure.
And like, if you're flooding the low end skill sort of jobs with extra availability, you're just driving wages down.
Yeah.
And like, that matters to me. And I don't know how I'm supposed to look at these candidates who are like, borders are bad, and say, this is a reasonable position, and that the president doesn't have nearly unlimited authority on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
I want somebody to get up there and tell me, you know what? People shouldn't be here if we didn't let them in.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice if someone would stand up for that. But like, I don't think I don't think Biden's going to be opening up the fucking back door like all day. I mean, I don't think every candidate is for that.
I would agree that Biden is the only person up there who even comes close to a moderate position on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other people seem so tepid in terms of what they're willing to say that it's just like they're just, they're leaves in the wind. They're going to blow whatever way the political thing is. I mean,
well, it's interesting.
You ask the question to Pete and he starts crying.
I mean, it's interesting from like just from a tactical perspective, because you think like, well, what are they trying to do? Like, because clearly you would think, well, then we're trying to appeal to the Hispanic vote here, and as a consequence, it seems like you would be losing a lot of people who would have voted for Trump over Obama. So I don't really understand. Like, I guess I don't understand where this overcorrection is coming from.
I don't,
because who's it like supposed to, like, who's it supposed to appeal to?
Well, I see. The thing is, like, you have to imagine that the political part of the country, which is like a quarter on each fringe, right?
Yeah.
They've just grown so religiously, indoctrinated in their own thing. It's like, well, Trump wants to build a wall, so obviously the opposite of that is no rules, guys.
It literally does seem like that. Yeah, it literally does seem like that. We have to go 100% the opposite direction.
And literally just saying like comprehensive immigration reform would make a fucking ton more sense, right? Even though it's completely meaningless.
Right? That used to be the thing.
I support comprehensive immigration reform.
All right, you said the right 3 words together.
my guess is that both of us agree with that, and that our plans would be very different.
Right? But who cares about the particulars? Yeah, no, it's true. I don't know. I don't understand where it's coming from, and I don't know if it's just a bid to try to win the nomination. And then when you get into the general, it's like, I have to backtrack some of this shit a little bit.
You're gonna have, but like the distance of the backtrack is gonna have to be really far.
I know.
And like at that point, you're basically rooting for the economy to collapse, because that's what would seal the deal against Trump.
Yeah, if we get that recession, I'm sure every Democrat in the country is praying for that recession.
I mean, you, at least for the love of God, don't do it out loud, Bill Maher.
Right?
Like, why would you be, it's infuriating. You are rooting against tens of thousands of people in the United States because you want your team to win.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
I mean, it is. That's the climate today.
It's just mean-spirited.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's evil. Well, I don't like to say that.
They're so sure, they're so sure that we're right. Like,
I will destroy anyone. Some of these people inevitably agree with you, and you will you wish for their destruction.
Yeah.
so that they can be a political pawn.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's shit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And this debate took me 3 watches to try to get through because it's so tedious.
It is
like
primarily tedious, yeah.
Almost none of the candidates have any differentiation with each other. They're all pro everything that you're supposed to be pro.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And and like we said, they're writing these retorts as though they're being given the questions beforehand, which is actually honestly what you should do if you're well prepared. But
yeah.
But like they've even got the applause lines in there and like sick burn.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you see how Kamala totally wrecked booty guy? You're just trying to make all the trending YouTube vids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so tedious.
What was I watching? I was watching Joe Rogan's special, Strange Times, like a night or two ago. I just liked what he said because he's like, when are we going to realize that we don't fucking need a president? I don't know. I hope soon, though. But
well, the thing is, like, you get down to it, we do need a president.
We do, but
we need a president who's in charge of the military.
Yeah, limited authority and
law enforcement.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
And for the most part, he should be sitting around and be fairly deferential to the Congress.
Right? Didn't the Romans have that figured out, Tactic Angel?
Actually, the Romans had, before they went to the imperial system, they had 2 consuls.
Yeah.
And so both of the consuls had the ability to override the other consul. So typically what you would end up with is, if we had that sort of system, a Democrat and Republican would always win.
Yeah.
And you'd have to get those 2 people to agree on things in order for them to be done. and like, to go back to the question that I asked about the filibuster, like, you and I have talked off of these sort of streams, and I've essentially advocated for requiring supermajorities to do most things through Congress.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why is because, for the most part, America's a great place to live.
Yeah.
We have pretty much figured out most of the systemic problems that we have, and the things that we have left are not worth destroying the system in order to overcorrect for.
Yeah. I don't want this is the sort of country where you want it to turn like a fucking ship, you know? Like,
oh yeah, like a big fat fucking ship.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a fucking jet fighter.
And oh yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's out there with their little golf cart supercharged, just
nice.
doing wheelies. I mean, like, no, like this whole it's the thing about the executive action thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so one dictator decides that they want this, and then the next one will be like,
fuck all that. Yeah.
I have new ideas. These aren't really laws, but who cares? It's the thing that I said with the Iran deal. You're like, well, you want to sign that as a treaty so that Congress will ratify it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if you
don't, then if you don't win the election, it's going to go up in flames.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, in defense of that strategy, I bet that if anyone other than Trump was elected, we'd still be in that deal.
I doubt it.
I think for sure.
If we got John McCain as president and he survived,
yeah,
I think he would have been out of it.
I don't think so. I
think there's some of them that would probably have pussyfoot around it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're just at that point we're just guessing, like,
I mean, we are, but even like if you look at where we are right now with Iran, we have no position. I don't understand what we're doing. We have no position. I guess that's true for most of our fucking foreign policy. But even like I saw a news story that Trump was thinking about like giving Iran some sort of short-term fucking loan in exchange for like that they meet certain conditions. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like. It just, I don't know. This is about the debates. We don't have to get into the foreign policy stuff, but yeah, it's that kind of shit that makes me feel like anybody who is smart, who is in office, would be like, we're just gonna fucking deal with this goddamn Iran deal the way it is right now, and make the fucking best of it instead of just pulling out, acting like bitches, and then and having no fucking plan. Moving forward. Hey guys, if we give you some money, will you come let us look at your sites? Anyway.
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. As you know, I have kind of pulled away and I have stopped reading the "you'll never guess what Trump said" on Twitter.
There's no point, right? And that's like, there's no point in even trying to follow the fucking news anymore because you read one thing and it's like, well, the next day, yeah, he said this, and then he said the fucking opposite the next day, and then.
Let me put it this way: for the last 1,000 days or so, it has been the end of the world, and I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, I want to slap Netanyahu right in the fucking face because I saw his little picture of a fucking bomb at the goddamn UN, and by my watch, they should have a ton of nuclear weapons by now. A ton of them. They should have the bomb. Like, I don't know what the fuck is taking so long.
I don't know. Those feisty Israelis like to assassinate people.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. If they're that close, hey, sanctions everywhere. Well, I guess fuck it.
Maybe what you really need is the one thing that people won't trade you. I don't know.
Maybe.
Are we
playing
going
Settlers
off the
of
rails
Catan?
here?
They really need.
Will someone trade me some wheat?
No, you fuck. That's the last piece I need.
I like the Star Trek Catan better.
Yeah, that was a good time. I would love to play that again.
Yeah.
I think it's just fun to have a line.
We're gonna play Socialist Monopoly sometime.
That would be awesome.
There is a version of Socialist Monopoly.
As soon as I get the gun.
Apparently it's not very fun.
That's awesome. The bank takes all your money. Everyone loses.
I think it's kind of like that. So, do you have anything else you want to add?
No. We didn't talk about Bernie at all, I don't think.
I was going to see if you noticed that.
Okay, no, there was one thing I wanted to say about Bernie. I wrote it down. All right, so he said something about there was 150 million people on private insurance, but what they don't tell you is that 50 million people lose it every year. Yeah, and I was like, how long has this been going on? Like,
I believe what he said is, there are 150 million people. 50 million.
That was my favorite.
He sounded like death.
He did. Well, he said, he took a couple days off to rest his voice. I saw on the Google News there. Yeah.
What was he doing? Was he like on the side of a cliff, just like screaming at the moon?
I know.
Because he.
Well, I read that article and I was like,
that guy's gonna die by the time that we get to the next debate.
I read that article and I was like, when is his voice not hoarse? Like.
No, he redefined hoarse.
He did, yeah. He sounded pretty, yeah.
He also said nothing at all worth saying, and he's basically the Beto O'Rourke of 40 years from now.
Yeah, debates.
I literally wrote down nothing.
Yeah.
Except that he doesn't realize that his time started.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Because it was like, Senator Sanders. And he's like, oh, the 70s were great. Senator Sanders. What? Oh, I got some ideas here. It's like quite a voice you got there, Bernie.
Yeah.
Do you smoke cigarettes or do you eat them?
Poor old bastard.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done.
Okay.
That has been episode number 89 of the Wednesday Night Gentleman Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video or subscribe to our channel. You can find us also on Twitter, where we are at WNG_MME_OPC, or head on over to the Facebook, where we are simply the Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you on episode number 90 of this podcast.
Bye-bye.